Hi, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Dream Dowsing. We're your hosts, Kim and Margarita, and we take a dream and analyze it while we're here figuring it out together. I use dream interpretations and try to use some intuition to try and pull all the symbols together so it makes sense. And Margarita uses her pendulum. I'll let Margarita tell you how she uses her pendulum, and we will let you know what the pendulum is doing in case you're listening and you can't see this video. That way, you'll know what the pendulum is doing to get a better interpretation of it. I can tell you it's a beautiful, beautiful, shiny golden pendulum that looks like one long strand of DNA almost. It's very pretty. So you said it was 6 inches long?
6 inches, yes, 6 inches long and 3.5 ounces.
Yeah, it's gorgeous. But tell how you use this to help with the dream
Yeah.
interpretation.
Well, dowsing is all about, and this is a tool. So any pendulum is going to be a tool. So it needs someone to be holding it and connected with what's going on. So it is all about vibrations and frequencies, just tapping into it. So this helps me a lot because though I feel like I am intuitive. At the same time, this pendulum actually physically shows what's going on. Of course, you have to learn to use it. I practice daily for the last few years. So and the way this works is when you are interpreting a dream, the pendulum is going to move, back and forth, or it's going to move side to side. So back and forth is yes, side to side is no, depending on what you are saying about the dream interpretation. And sometimes when you are undecided or the pendulum doesn't understand what's going on, it's going to move counterclockwise, meaning I'm thinking about where Kim is going with this or what, and then it comes back. And once he gets it, once you get it, like clearly, it's going to go yes or it's going to go no. But I have to say, in my experience with you with dreams for the last few years, you are pretty much right on. So
Yeah, but sometimes those symbols, it depends like if you have a positive or negative feeling about a certain symbol, it changes the interpretation oftentimes completely. So sometimes it's hard to know. And especially if we don't have the person on live with us, then I don't necessarily know what their emotion was. So it's helpful to have the pendulum.
yeah, it is because as we've seen is where you are like, and then it reconfirms which one it is, one or
Yeah.
two.
Yes. Many times we've done that. Yeah. So that's helpful. Yeah. So if you want to know more, you can go back to our very first episode where we explain in greater detail about how we do each of the roles that we do and tell you a little bit more about it. And these are both practices that have been around forever. So it's interesting to learn to study these if this is something that's interesting to you, if you're drawn to it. You must be somewhat drawn to it because you're here listening to us. So
That's right.
hopefully we can help you
Yeah.
showcase how it works. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and this is very ancient. I mean, anything that vibration frequency in India, they've been doing China, they've been studying this a lot longer. Here in the West is more, science. We need to verify it first. But
Yes.
but when you look at things, I mean, if you even stop and think sometimes, uh, what is invisible to the eye is just very important. We just don't realize it. But it's just
Yeah.
awareness. Like we always talk about awareness. It's just awareness. Once you
Yeah.
know something and you practice, you're like, oh, interesting.
Yeah. Which is cool. That's what makes it fun.
Hmm.
All right. Let's get started with our first dream, our dream for this show. So the dream, I'm going to be honest, this is a dream that I had and I needed help with it. I really was having trouble interpreting it. But so I'll tell you what it was. I dreamed that I was up in the clouds in heaven with Jesus. And he was wearing this beautiful, vibrant purple coat. I mean, not coat, but like a shawl or something that you see images of him wearing, like the tan gown or the white gown with the red sash on it. This was vibrant purple, so it was very pretty. And for me, whenever I have dreams about that vibrant purple color, it to me represents higher spirituality. So he was there, and there was a committee of people that wanted him to go to Earth and start working down there. And he said no. He showed me how he could go down and then come right back up, pop up again, but he didn't want to stay down there. He wanted to stay up there. And so he argued with the committee, and the committee said, fine, you can stay up here. And then I went down to Earth, and there was a woman there, and I told her, you need to be careful and take good care of yourself. Be prepared to lose a lot of people. And then I went back up. So I looked at the symbols. So let's get started on the symbols here. So Jesus represents an aspect of you. If you're dreaming about Jesus, it represents an aspect of you that is about selflessness or finding your purpose or having a higher purpose or being willing to sacrifice something. And the pendulum is got big swinging yes back and forth perpendicular to Margarita on this one. Heaven represents perfect happiness. Everything's perfect in heaven. Clouds can represent depression or negative cover. And that's saying yes on that one too. It's starting to swing.
Yeah. So you have to say one or the other. Which one did you say clouds represent what in this
Can
case?
represent depression because they're
Depression.
blocking the sun. Yes, depression.
Oh,
Yeah,
gotcha. Yeah,
clouds can
it
represent
says
depression.
yes.
Yes,
Okay.
okay. Yeah, so I was really struggling with this dream. What does this really mean? I mean, okay, Jesus, yes, wonderful. Heaven, wonderful. The clouds are depressing. And like I was having trouble pulling this all together. And so at the time that I had this dream, it was many years ago, I ended up contacting Kevin Tedeschi, who at the time was the CEO of the Association for Research and Enlightenment, the ARE, which was Edgar Casey's organization. And he had taught a dream class, which I attended virtually. And he said, if you ever have any questions, just email me. So I'll email him. I didn't think he would answer, but he did. And so it was really helpful to me. And I'm bringing this up because sometimes you hear people saying, well, if you want to interpret a dream, you have to do it yourself. You have to figure it out. And I think it's really good to try to do it yourself first. But it's okay to ask for help because sometimes to somebody else who's been doing it a long time, it's a little more obvious. And now that I've been doing this for longer, I can see what he was saying. But at the time, it really was stumping me. So his interpretation of the dream is that that I am more comfortable being more isolated in my spirituality. So I'm probably not a big church person, is what he was suggesting. And your pendulum is still swinging yes on this one.
Strong.
Um, yeah, very strong. Okay. And um, that comes with a sacrifice sometimes. So I can interpret what he said with that now that I have done this longer and I understand his interpretation. So if you want to be part of a church, which is something I do recommend, that if you are a person who's lonely and if a church has any appeal to you, it's a good place to go. You're going to meet a lot of people. There will be people there to support you, to help you, to know you. I've always said, like, if you are alone and you're sick and you belong to a church and you tell people, like, I've just gotten out of the hospital, you'll have so many casseroles on your front doorstep. People will be bringing you food. It's a good way to find a sense of community if that's what you're looking for. And that's your thing. It's not everybody's thing. It's not my thing. So, that I'm willing to be more alone on that. So the church is probably not for me. And what's interesting is I went down in the dream, I went down to earth again and told this woman, take good care of yourself, be prepared to lose a lot of people. And so my interpretation of that would be that I was telling my higher self, was telling my current self as Kim, take good care of yourself, which is important to remember to do. It's something that I definitely am not as good at as I should be. And a lot of people aren't. And that be prepared to lose a lot of people. And the loss comes with sometimes you want to tell people things you know that are spiritual, or I'm very interested in plants and plant medicine and things like that. People shut you down when you talk about some of these things with spirituality. They don't get it. So I have friends who belong to really big churches, and wow, look at that. Pendulum's going crazy with yes. I have friends who belong to really big churches, and boy, it seems like they have a million friends, and it's good for them. It's good for their business. It's good for their social life and everything. There's a lot of opportunities, and that's not my life. So it's just it tends to, if your focus is going to be more on maybe spirituality and the things that come with spirituality. I don't know what to do when the pendulum stops, and right now it's just completely stopping.
Yeah.
Okay. Starting
There's
back up
nothing
again.
wrong with that.
Okay, I
It's
was
just like,
worried. Like, we're
yeah.
done. We're done. Okay. Um, so it's just it's a different lifestyle, and so it is not necessarily a sacrifice because you can find a community, you can find a spiritual community. I just think it's a little harder. You have to work harder if you're willing to do that, and you do lose some people. And I've noticed that with people I've known forever, and if I've said something, I get made fun of immediately, and so I've just learned just not to talk about everything with everybody. You have to find your people. You have to put your radar out there, and like you and I talk all the time because we understand each other and we understand the different topics that we're studying. So I thought that was an interesting dream. Just basically saying if you want to go it alone, it's a different type of spiritual growth.
Mhm.
So the pendulum seems to agree.
Oh yeah, and it was moving pretty strong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I thought it was amazing that he would help me with an answer to that. I mean, it probably didn't take him very long because he's been doing it much longer than I have. And I'm sure he's like, oh, this just means blah, blah, blah. But
Mhm.
I still thought it was really nice that he did that.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's not the CEO anymore. He's got his own business going, but really nice man, as far as I could tell.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. That's nice. It's nice that he was, like you said, that he helped you. I also had met some people that I'm always like, I can't believe that person replied back. They are just so kind and
Yeah.
so they really want to help. They are just that's what they are all about. So that's the difference sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah. I thought that
With
was nice.
anything, I guess, with
Yeah.
anybody.
Yeah. So if you're on a spiritual path, and I'm guessing that you are because you're listening to us, sometimes it just takes a little bit more effort. And you can find some really wacky people in the spiritual community too, where you probably don't want to be friends with them. So, but you can find people. You just have to look. And there are some spiritual churches too, where that's just like a slightly different angle. I haven't been to one myself, but
Yeah. Yeah, and the spiritual path, like you say, is a path and it's very personal. I mean, it's always like even if you read the Bible or any other philosophies or religions, they always talk is very individualized.
mm,
Very, I mean, people who have really um, gone inward because that's really everything. You just think at that time. Then you don't even feel lonely anymore. You don't really need to have because you have that with you inside. So it's going to fill you. I don't know if it makes any sense, but that's just kind of how it works.
yeah, and I think that's a good reminder because even if you are part of some mega church or something like that, it's still your path that you have to figure out and find your own way. You still have your own inner demons that you're fighting or your own traumas or whatever, and it's still up to you to wake up and figure out what's true for you because it's everybody's still walking their own way. But we're doing, you can go together with people. That's really great. But still, you do have an individualized path that you have to follow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you really go within, which is not easy, over time, you just feel stronger. The outside no longer bothers you as much. You don't depend as much on what's going on other
Yeah.
people and events or anything because you realize they are not as necessary
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
be inwardly connected.
Yeah. I think that's really nice. But
Hmm.
it's hard. It's hard sometimes to
Oh,
figure out that
definitely.
that's where
Well,
how
it
it has
takes
to go.
time. It depends. And when you say it's hard, it takes time. It takes maybe many years. It doesn't have to.
Hmm.
It's not like an overnight. Some people like wow, they become. Oh, even Eckhart Tolle. When you hear about his story, he was in his late 20s when he had this kind of awakening that he didn't realize, and it took him years before he was able. He wrote down everything that happened that evening when was his ego and his soul kind of talking with his like who are they and if they were all
Hmm.
part of him inside each of us. So I thought that was very interesting. But
Interesting.
he spent years studying other philosophies, how he felt, and eventually got to the point where he is. And I really I think he's pretty wonderful. And so many of them, Anita Mojani is another one who's the same way. It took her years now to be speaking to other people and to feel comfortable with what she went through. And So it's not like an overnight, and not everybody's going to be writing books and speaking in public or anything, because it's
Right.
just it is yeah, it's a very personal inward path. It
Yeah.
is.
Well, that kind of reminds me of something you sent me. You sent me a link to some. They were like snippets of speeches from Wayne Dyer, I think,
Over
that somebody
dire,
put
yeah.
together. Yeah, and the first one, it was five things, but the first one he was talking about, he used the example of if you lose your keys in your house and you're looking around, it's nighttime and there's the lights on your house, but you're looking for your keys in your house and then you can't find them. But you look and you realize there's a street light on outside. I'll go look for my keys out there because at least there's some light out there. And you go out there and then somebody comes along to help you and they're like, what happened? What are you looking for? I lost my keys. Okay, I'll help you. And then after a while, there's just no keys. And the person says, well, where do you think you lost your keys? Well, I lost them in my house. Like, well, why are we out here looking? Because there's light out here. Okay, this makes no sense. But the point he was making is that we try to go and look outside for everything. So even like going to a church, going to a practice, going to a person that we know, a friend, an author, a speaker, whatever, hoping they're going to help us find the key, the thing about us that we're trying to work on or that's important to us or something like that that matters or something we're trying to fix about ourselves. It's not out there. It's inside. And I thought that was a really, it was, I didn't know where he was going with it, but it was a very interesting metaphor
Yeah.
that, whether if you belong to a church or a spiritual group, it doesn't really matter if you're going alone. It still is something that you have to find in
Yeah.
yourself and figure in yourself.
Yes. We have to do the work. I
Yeah.
think sometimes we want other people. It's so easy to just go, can you fix me? Can you do this for me? But in life, you have to do the work.
Yeah. Which
And
isn't
that's
fun all
with
the time.
anything. Yeah, and that's with anything, and definitely spiritually.
Yeah. It's not always fun, and sometimes you think you've done it and you find out later because something triggers you. It's like I did not do that. I need to go back and do that. But you'll notice though if you're really working on it, you'll notice that you make progress. It's always worth it. It's worth the
Yeah,
effort.
yeah, yeah. You start realizing little changes going on. Oh, that doesn't affect me anymore. It doesn't
Yeah.
bother me, or I'm just more like this. Or what happened? How? Because every single day, and maybe even throughout the day, you are just more focused on
Yeah.
something that is related with goodness, with truth. It doesn't have to be like you always say. It doesn't have to be like spending lots of time meditating or this or just being aware. I think you
Yeah.
spoke about it, yeah, early on in another podcast.
Yeah. It is. You have to be aware. And I think being able to pull yourself out of the situation as it's happening and step back. So this is a personal thing for me that I wouldn't say I was an angry person, but it would be easy for me to be like feel annoyed or mad about something. And it's always justifiable. I mean, geez, why would I waste my time being angry if there wasn't complete value in it, if I wasn't right? But you feel that you justify it. Well, so when I started going through menopause and I was getting hot flashes, and this made me mad was that if I even started to feel mad, I would get a hot flash. I'm like, this is completely unfair. I am allowed to have an emotion. I'm allowed to be annoyed. But I had to start working on that quickly because it was physically uncomfortable. So if I started to get mad, I'd be like, what's my role in this? How have I brought this on myself? How can I reframe this? It's not somebody else, it's me. It's me feeling this way or me making this choice or enabling this or whatever. But it's like I had to really work on it. And I have found that when I look back and see how I would have reacted to things before, it changes where I tend to stop myself really quickly and go, well, this is the way it is. And I made this choice or I did this and I allowed this kind of thing to happen. It's me. And so, you don't want to be a doormat, let people run over you. Sometimes anger is really justified, but being angry is just no fun anyway. But that's just something that I had to work on. And discomfort was very helpful. Physical discomfort was helpful to me to curb it. But I just think I find ever since that lesson that I do try more and more to recalibrate myself quickly. I mean, we are humans in human bodies. And so sometimes your reaction is right away jealousy, anger, sadness, whatever. But if you could just step back and go to your higher self and just go, what's really going on here? And does it matter? And, trying to figure it out. But it is the work that pays off
Oh,
because
it
you're
does. Yeah,
calmer.
yeah. No, and that it's already wonderful, the fact that you became aware, because that's the main thing. People
Mm,
go through life and they're just never aware of, or they think, this is the truth. And there's only one truth, and you have two people arguing about the truth. So
yeah,
so we don't, that's what even, I think it was Eckhart Tolle, and I just love what he said. It's just an opinion. So
yeah,
that's what you are expressing. These two people are, this is my opinion, but they confuse opinion with truth.
mm,
So at the end, you just,
yeah. All right. Well, good talk. Good dream interpretation, good session. So, for those of you who are still with us, thank you very much. You can, if you feel like it, we'd really like it if you would hit the like button down below, just the little thumbs up symbol there. Yeah. And you can subscribe. That way, you'll always know when we've got a new episode coming out. You could share it with your friends too if you think they would like this particular episode. And if you would like to have us interpret your dream, then you can go to our website, dreamdowsing.com. The link will be below here, but you can go there. And there is a page on there where you can fill out the details of a dream that you had. And it asks you very detailed questions, how you felt about everything, who was in the dream, what you think about that person, what you think about everything. Put as much information in there as you can and send it to us, and then we might be able to pick your dream and analyze it here on our show. We would love to do that. So thank you for listening, and thank you, Margarita. That was really fun.
thank you, Kim. Yeah, it was fun.
All right. Talk to you later. Bye bye, everybody.
Bye.